Welcome to Best Buds Gardening. I'm Julie. Today, let's talk about how to grow onions, seed to harvest. The first thing you need to know to save yourself some heartache is that you will want to plant a specific type of onion depending on where you live. There are long day onions, which you'll want to plant if you live north of 36 degrees latitude, and there are short day onions, which will be the correct type for you to plant if you live south of 35 degrees latitude. There are also intermediate day onions, which will work for you if you live right in the middle, but most onions are long and short day. This is kind of important because onions start to bulb up when the day lengths are at a certain point. Long day onions won't start to put on any weight until the day lengths are 12 to 14 hours long, or around June 21st. Short day onions start bulbing up when the days are about 10 hours long. If you plant long day onions in the south, they won't have enough sunlight to tell them it's time to get going. And if you plant short day onions in the north, bulb formation starts so early in the season that they kind of burn themselves out and never reach maximum size. So now that you know the long and the short of it, the process for growing either kind is the same. Onion seeds are the earliest seeds you will start. You want the tops to grow nice and big before that day length tells them to start producing bulbs. First, let me apologize for the red towel. I've tried to crop most of it out. It's kind of an assault to the senses. Okay, here are some germinated onion seeds. I know it's very difficult to tell, but they do have a little white root growing out of them. So I'm going to make a hole in this cup, about 1/4 of an inch deep, actually 2 holes, and I'm going to plop a seed into each hole. And then I am just lightly going to cover them up. Make sure there are drainage holes on the bottom of whatever you're planting them in, and keep this moist until they come up out of the soil. We never want to let these guys dry out. We're going to do this about 8 weeks before our last frost date. Several days later, our little onion seedlings start to emerge out of the soil. They kind of come up in the middle first, and then their head comes out last, and they look very much like tiny little blades of grass. After our onion seedlings are about 2 inches high, they're ready to transplant. And I've got some bigger guys over here that have been growing for a while, a little bit long. I'll show you how to correct this. The transplanting process works best if you pre-moisten your soil first. Here is our little cup of onion seedlings, and I'm just going to gently squeeze until they come out. They're very fragile at this point, and in that cup, this is wet soil too, so you ought to be able to just gently pull out your onion seedling. Be very careful not to rip the root off. And it's okay for this dirt to be on here, but I want to take it off so you can see the root a little bit better. Okay, so then you can just take anything, a garden Sharpie, a stick, whatever you've got handy, and I'm going to make a little hole for this onion seedling to set down in. Maybe a little bit bigger, and just get his little root down in that hole. Make sure it's covered up, and then gently brush the dirt back and tuck him into bed. And we'll do the same for this guy. Make a little hole. And sometimes it's easier to get that root in if you kind of spin the onion seedling just a little bit. Push the dirt back and tuck him in. These are our larger onion seedlings that we've just transplanted, and I'm going to take the scissors and I'm going to snip these guys back to where they're about 2 inches tall. We don't want our onion leaves laying down in wet soil, and they'll grow much stronger leaves if we trim off this spindly stuff. Here are our little onion seedlings a few weeks later, hanging out and enjoying the summer. By midsummer, the bulbs are starting to get bigger, and we actually have something that looks very much now like an onion. Towards the end of summer, our leaves are going to start to fall over and look horrible. And if you feel right there on the onion neck, if that is soft, it's time to pull our onion. Onions like full sun, rich soil, and don't forget to keep them well watered. Happy onion growing! Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.